Hey friends, welcome to the channel. The idea behind this series was to replicate as much of design school as possible. In design school, the curriculum guarantees your learning. In this video, I want to cover goal setting to help you create a similar structure for yourself. I do have worksheets in the guide if you haven't purchased that yet. Let's finish the series. This is part 4 of my no-nonsense guide to learning graphic design. Let's keep it simple, starting with big goals. One thing to note is that your goals should be measurable. Some goals could be learning the design apps within a certain amount of time, finding a mentor. I'm adding this because I know it's not easy. Building a portfolio in 9 months. If you have some background under your belt already, maybe it's finding a freelance client or landing your first job. These large goals can be overwhelming, so to make it more palatable, we can break it down into smaller goals and create habits that compound over time. Let's go over some examples. Let's say your big goal is to become proficient in the design apps. We'll give it a timeline, 6 months, sure. I'm going to break this down one level into milestones. Your list of apps to learn are InDesign, Figma, Illustrator, and Photoshop. We can give these a timeline that fits in the 6 months. Maybe InDesign is 2 months, so you're at least comfortable with the basics. After that, your goal is to learn the basics of Figma a month later. I'm shortening that timeline because I think Figma is easier to learn. That's 3 months so far. Then you have 1.5 months each for Illustrator and Photoshop. If you're already comfortable with InDesign, Illustrator and Photoshop will come to you pretty easily because Adobe has similar features across all of them. Alternatively, you can learn Photoshop and Illustrator in 1 month, and in the last month, you learn more advanced things in the other apps. I'll break this down another level into daily or weekly goals. Learn 1 tutorial a week, that is 8 total. After a month, learn 1 shortcut a day. There's not that many shortcuts, so you'll be a pro pretty quickly. For this, you can also add anti-goals, such as never moving on to the next tutorial until you're comfortable in the one before, or don't use the wrong app for the wrong purpose. We can break this down to be even more specific. What are the 8 tutorials? For InDesign, start with the basics, how to set up your file, adding images and text. Then learn how to typeset, meaning kerning, ragging, and fixing widows. After that, maybe it's learning exporting requirements. So on and so forth, and that's one goal. Let's do one more example. The big goal this time is to create a portfolio in 9 months. Again, we want to be specific and list what those projects are. And then we can make sure we are showing a breadth of skills across those projects, at least one project that's typography only, at least one project that is a series or has different design directions. Each project has a concept that's carried throughout in the design. If you honor the design process, you guarantee this every time. 4, produce 9 projects, which is 1 project a month. And then our timeline, after 3 months, we want at least 1 project that's portfolio worthy. After 6 months, we have 2 more. At the end of 9 months, we review all the projects and choose the 5 strongest. I know some of you are doing this on the side, so I think a month will give you some breathing room without adding too much pressure. You don't really want to rush it. It's not you want to be impressive, it's you need to be impressive, and that often requires time. That is the full series. I know it's a grind. As I mentioned, it is a much tougher path to be a self-taught designer, but it is possible, so give yourself the chance. Also, give me some feedback on the series in the comments below because I want to make it better in the future. You can do this. I'll see you next time.